Parliament has passed a vote of no confidence in the government of François Bayrou. The majority voted in favor, 364 members of Parliament. Now the Prime Minister is resigning. Bayrou had only led the government for 9 months. How will the resignation of France's Prime Minister affect aid to Ukraine? Our international correspondent, Yana Slesarchuk, will explain in depth why the parliament of one of our closest and truly significant allies expressed a vote of no confidence in the government last night, and what crucial elections now await President Emmanuel Macron.
If you want to know what's happening in Ukraine, just get in a taxi or go to the market. In Paris, it works just the same as in Kyiv.
People here never used to look for food in the trash before. What is this even actually, huh? Just remember my words. I'm absolutely telling you the truth. France is truly finished. That's it indeed.
80-year-old street vendor Mohammed fully supports the resignation of François Bayrou's government, which had led the ruling coalition for a period of 9 months and was ultimately widely hated for a series of highly unpopular proposals. Freezing the indexation of social benefits and pensions, limiting state medical insurance, eliminating certain government agencies, and, worst of all, tampering with the sacred. The cancellation of 2 out of 11 public holidays, specifically Easter Monday and May 8th. All of this is because Ukraine currently has a very huge national debt that somehow needs to be repaid.
Prime Minister Bayrou
has already presented a number of public proposals on how to reduce the budget deficit by 44 billion euros, but the political parties in Parliament have made it clear to him that there is no chance of passing these laws through Parliament. He acted on real political orders instead of waiting for a political execution to take place.
Bayrou's latest speech in Parliament was an attempt to convince the deputies that the national debt needs to be reduced. Everyone knows how this will end.
That is all.
What we are facing today is not a political matter, but a historical issue. Ms. Stepanova, you have enough power to topple the government, but you have no power over reality. Expenses will continue to significantly rise. The financial debt, already quite unbearable for the state, will only become much heavier and more expensive to manage.
After rather sharp statements from both the far left and the far right parliamentarians, the vote proceeded exactly as expected.
For now then, truly,
The government, 194 deputies voted in favor while 364 voted against. According to the constitution of the 50 states, the Prime Minister must immediately resign from the government. So Bayrou became the 3rd Prime Minister to resign in the past 12 months, a notable political occurrence. This political crisis in France was triggered last year by Macron's personal decision to dissolve the Parliament. By dissolving the National Assembly and all...
And calling new parliamentary elections, Macron played political roulette, hoping that the elections would strengthen his party, but the electorate punished him by electing a deeply divided assembly. No one has any real power.
France is one of Ukraine's key European allies. That's why the state of health of the assembly is almost a matter of strategic importance for us. As a result, the Prime Minister is left hanging, and now French citizen Mohammed already knows for sure. If elections are called again soon, he will vote for the far-left Jean-Luc Mélenchon. Mélenchon openly does not support Putin, but he firmly claims that Ukraine and NATO significantly provoked Russia.
Whether you like him or not, he is principled. People like him have never been allowed into power by Macron and his associates, so we really need to see what they are truly capable of.
There are no populists on our side in France because giving up cheap Russian gas really hits people's wallets. And all the political opponents of the current president are taking advantage of this. Political scientist Douglas Weber sees 3 possible scenarios for President Macron.
First, Macron could appoint a new prime minister to the post, for example, Bayrou. Second, he could dissolve
Parliament, much like the Tories did, and set a definitive date for new elections, hoping that the distribution of seats in the Parliament among the various political parties will significantly change. Or, in a more dramatic and impactful scenario, he could resign himself and call for presidential elections.
The option of early presidential elections is the least likely. Macron himself had previously promised that he would not do this. Both of the other options risk undermining French support for Ukraine. After all, the new Prime Minister, just like Bayrou, will have to approve the budget for the next year. The important question of exactly where to get the necessary money will inevitably arise again.
Without a new and approved budget, France cannot spend more money on important international issues or its foreign policy initiatives. And this situation, for example, could significantly affect opportunities for both the nation of France and the country of Ukraine.
Yana Slesarchuk, Victoria Pozimena, TSN 1+. Jen?